Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Do We Know Them, episode 175.
Good solid number.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Oh, it just feels so, like, the preparation for the episode, getting all our chords and whatnot, I just like to just sit and talk. That's my favorite part.
I know, I wish we had production teams.
Can you imagine we get on set, they, like, put our in-ears on for us? It's like, oh my God,
Someone's,
please,
like, powdering our face. They're like, you're really sweaty.
I would love that.
Just want to throw it out there. I think I'm mostly good to go, but I did get another root canal today. I wore my official root canal shirt. Everyone was saying that this was perfect for last time.
Wait, what does it say? I can't see. You're so tiny.
It's an upside down smiley face.
Oh, okay. You have gotten so much done in such a short amount of time.
Yeah, and honestly, well, and you guys probably didn't, I mean, I'm assuming you didn't notice because I haven't seen any comments about it. I did post on my Instagram revealing that I did, but I actually got veneers. Not from a veneer
veneers
tech.
from So Mink.
Those are the lip injections. Oh my God, that can be a whole other topic. Did you look at my text about her?
No. What?
She's rebranded.
No.
It's called So Face. 2 O's, so it's actually like
still
Sue
keeping
Face.
the so.
It's very it's confusing.
Oh my God.
But she has a new product and everything.
What's her product?
I need to look it up again, but it's like the ultra plump something.
Oh my God.
I don't know.
So
she's back in
eyelashes
action.
to the hyaluronic pen to now something else that's probably botching people.
She's
Love
terrifying. But anyway, I was gonna say that if I'm a little low energy, it's because it turns out that root canals on your back teeth are much more painful than on your front teeth.
Oh no, really?
And it's not feeling great.
Oh no, that sucks.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I know you guys were making fun of me because last episode I said we were going to keep it short and it was still an hour and like 40 minutes long. We are going to try to keep this short, okay? I cried today. I don't cry very often and it felt really good. Like I needed it. You know when it like almost hurts coming out? You're like, I needed that.
Why did you cry?
Oh, I don't know. I was hanging out with my brother and we're just very emotional people.
I was gonna say, because I actually cried earlier, not because of my teeth, although maybe close. But I passed the saddest video on Instagram.
No.
And
I can't take it. Don't tell me about it.
I broke down. I was sobbing for like a good 20 minutes.
Stop. That's the worst. But I don't cry super often anymore. I don't know if it's my antidepressants or what, pumping too much serotonin into me. But I cried today and it almost hurts coming out. So like every time I cry now, I get a headache because I'm not really used to it. So I've got a little bit of a headache.
Your body is like, what is this?
Yeah. We're just, we're hanging in there.
I was going to say, we're really thriving today. Thanks for tuning in.
Anyway, so we are going to try to keep this short is what we're trying to say. Who knows what's going to happen though. We are going to start with an update to a topic that we covered recently, which is Sedona Prince and Liv. And if you don't know what we're talking about, Sedona is a TikToker, and is that considered professional basketball playing when you're on a college team?
No, but she's a college basketball player and I think she's like pretty good.
Anyway, who cares?
Not important and does not excuse it. Actually, though, it does make it kind of like more concerning that like she hasn't been kicked off her basketball team or anything, or like she doesn't face any repercussions seemingly because
especially
she's really good.
When you consider that some of the receipts we're going to get into are Sedona's mom alluding to the fact that her coach is like super pissed at Sedona for shit that she's done. So it seems like they know that Sedona's a problem, but like we said when we covered her, they have come out and been like, we are not going to do anything about it. Like she's still on the team.
If you're still confused and you're like, well, what did she do?
Oh,
well,
right.
Lots of things, apparently. But one of the ones we covered last time was that she and her girlfriend Liv took her on this birthday vacation to Tulum. And while they were there, they rented an ATV in which Sedona thought it was a great idea to drunkenly have them both get on and then drive into a jungle. I repeat, jungle. That one always gets me. You're not going to catch me ATVing into a jungle where there's jaguar crossings sober, but blacked out doing that in the blacked out jungle.
Insane. According to Liv, and this is all alleged, we don't have any solid receipts. This is her recounting of the story, although we do have text receipts that kind of corroborate her feeling guilty for something.
And the vibes are genuine.
Yeah, and also she has been accused by many other exes of abuse. By the way, I really quickly want to say I am really sorry. I don't think I even got called out for this, but I realized in the updates here that Riley is one of the ones that speaks, and I didn't know that she had actually accused her of abuse. And I think I said in our last episode, like, oh, like Riley didn't accuse her of abuse, or like she didn't abuse Riley like physically or anything. I don't think I was correct in saying that. She does stand by the fact that Sedona did abuse her. So that was my mistake. And I didn't dive deep enough into it. So that's my fault for sure. But anyway, there's no shortage. She's been accused of SA from someone she went on a date with, Alyssa. Her story's pretty bad.
Who then she claims she didn't do anything, but then offered to pay for her therapy.
Yeah. She's like, I didn't do anything to you. But if you need to go to therapy, I mean, I got you, girl. Like, it just makes zero sense. And you could say that there's a pattern. And unless all of her exes or anybody that comes in contact with her just have like some weird club where they get together and like corroborate stories, I don't know.
Yeah, like,
I don't know what she's trying to paint. Yeah, like it just makes no sense. You have a pattern and it's concerning. And that's what we covered. We mainly covered Liv's recounting of everything, which, going back to that, she says that when they went into the jungle, Sedona was pissed and she basically threw Liv off the ATV and left her in the pitch black jungle. And Liv just started running to try to like reach civilization. And then Liv saw that Sedona turned back around. So she saw the headlights of the ATV. But right when Sedona was about to reach Liv, she like turned the ATV on its side and then it broke. So then they had to get 10 men from Tulum that they had no idea. Thank God they were nice people. They didn't know who they were. They like towed them and then they crashed off of that.
Well, because they were going like 35 miles per hour while they were being towed, which I mean, the whole thing is just like, oh my God, what are you talking about? Yeah, she said that she was like holding on, and while they were being towed, Sedona was like steering back and forth and like being insane. And then it flipped again, and then they were like telling the guys to just go, and I'm like, no, don't tell them to go. What are you talking about? And then I guess they just walked the rest of the way back, and they left the ATV to come get it the next day.
Yeah, and I think the way that Liv describes it is that Sedona was like skipping and so happy that she was single, and it was just such a toxic relationship. And that was what we covered. We covered the allegations that Liv made against her, but Liv also coupled that with text messages that did back up her story.
One other like weird part of the story that gets elaborated on, and one of the things we're going to look at, is they got into like numerous other fights. Apparently there was like other girls involved, and Sedona was like gonna hook up with one of them. And long story short, Liv ends up leaving Mexico early, but then Sedona stays behind for 12 more days, during which she will only communicate with Liv, who she was like literally terrorizing the entire trip, but won't talk to anyone else.
She said she wanted nothing to do with her. And then all of a sudden, that's the only person that she could communicate with. Honestly, to me, seems like such a weird power tactic. I don't even know, to keep her involved or something.
Well, and we're going to look at something from her mom later, but she refers to it as a psychotic break. I'm like, yep. That's something.
And the mom was involved because Sedona supposedly called the mom and was like, I'm breaking up with Liv. And we talked about how that's so weird. Like, are you guys 12? What the fuck is going on? Like, this makes no sense.
Basically, she like tried to be like, let's just pretend yesterday didn't happen, and like kept trying to like remedy the situation. And that Sedona's reasoning was like, well, I already told my mom we broke up.
Yeah.
What?
Welcome to 5th grade. You know what I was doing in 5th grade? This just flashed in my head. I remember I wanted this guy to be my boyfriend so bad. And when he finally asked me to be his girlfriend, I decided I did not like him anymore. And I hid from him non-stop.
That is so 5th grade.
Literally, I knew where he would get out of class and I would like dodge him because I did not want to kiss him on the lips. Anyway, life is weird.
I had a boyfriend in, I almost think it was like 4th grade. We didn't even like hold hands, but you know, we chatted on AIM. So
there's a certain level of immaturity that like young relationships have, and she still seems to act that way even though she's in her mid-20s, I think, right? Or early 20s. She's in college.
She's in college, but I think she's like an older, like she's on her, I think she's in her senior year, but I think she's like a super senior.
Not the super senior. She doesn't want to leave. She has nowhere else to go.
Someone had commented that because you had mentioned the last one, you were like, it feels like she's been playing basketball for so long.
It does.
I think she's been injured and stuff, so then you're allowed to like prolong your I don't know.
She just keeps not like important. Breaking her own ankles. Is like, oh no, another year.
Anyway, none of that is important.
Sorry.
But there has been an update.
Okay, so the order that this happened in, because there has been quite the update here, is that Liv got a comment from Sedona's mom, her actual mother, who went into Liv's comments and posted the most out-of-pocket shit. Now, I get it. Your daughter was exposed by this person on the internet, and you may feel defensive of that. I just think it's weird when parents get involved. Do you know how often my mom has offered, like, should I say something? I'm like, Mom, no. I will literally lose my mind if you do. There's no place for parents to get involved. We're all adults here. Like, we can handle our own shit. What are you doing? Especially when it involves abuse. And, like, you allegedly knew about that abuse.
I was talking to my mom one time, not about an abuse situation, obviously, but I texted her like out of the blue and I was like, I just want you to know that if you ever come on the internet and say anything, I will never forgive you. We're never speaking again.
Never.
She had a funny response. I'll have to pull it up. But it was something like, do you think I know how to do that? Or something. It was like, touche.
Well, that's interesting because Sedona's mom is allegedly 70 years old, I believe.
Okay, and my mom actually literally yesterday, well, not when this is going up, but a few days ago when you're watching this, my mom just turned 77.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Elmar. But while she is not the most technologically savvy, no offense, Mom. I mean, I know also age is different for each person, but like, I would never be like, how dare you do this to me? My poor 77-year-old. I mean, 77 is old. Mom, you look great. But it's like, you wouldn't be like, my poor 77-year-old mother, how could you put her through this? And it's like, how could you put her through this? This is your fault. And her mom's 70, not 77.
Exactly. So basically what happened, she comments on Liv's TikTok calling Sedona out, and Liv says, oh, you know what I have today? Time. I have plenty of time. So this happened a day before Sedona officially apologizes. You guys can be the judge of whether or not you think this is the reason she had to come out and say something. I mean, Liv at this point had said a lot, but it's interesting to me what gets people to apologize sometimes, like what makes them have enough, because she was silent through so much. Not silent. She posted her little Instagram story moment, but you know what I mean? Like she sat through a bunch of shit and didn't say anything. So I'm just like, really?
Yeah.
This is it?
You guys can also be the judge of like what the fuck this apology even is, because it's not what I would deem a good apology, nor really an apology at all. But first, let's watch Liv react to this comment, because messed with the wrong one, Sedona's mom.
Tambra.
Okay,
so the comment itself is pretty bad. She says, when I was called, I heard you screaming and punching Sedona. She restrained you. I love you both and asked you to please go to the front desk and get another room.
Context, this is when they were in Tulum, when they were back at the hotel and they were like having issues probably towards the end of the trip, when she was like gonna hook up with another girl and they were like yelling at each other and stuff.
Yeah, it was like at the most volatile point of all of this, and she was acting like some sort of mediator, and she's claiming, I didn't hear any abuse. I heard her trying to restrain you and you being the abusive one.
Yeah, so apparently Liv was the crazy one that was like going after Sedona and not the other way around.
Gag it. No, gag it. I just want to know, is it worth it? Is it worth it? Not taking accountability? Is it worth standing behind the fact that your daughter has abused multiple women and the fact that you took accountability for it as well? To me, to my mother, to my family. But when it comes down to protecting her reputation and image, we're lying. I'm sorry, but the last thing you're going to do is gaslight me of what actually happened, because you know what happened. We all know what happened. Don't dare do that.
Then after that, she provides quite a few receipts, and they do not make Tambra look too good. This is a conversation between Liv's mom and Tambra. Tambra messages Liv's mom and says, I have never felt more shame about our daughter. Sedona made the biggest mistake of her life and will realize that soon. I reported her behavior to her coach and she's furious. Too bad. I can't say sorry enough. Sad face. Liv's mom says, heart, oh Tambra, it's just so sad for everyone involved. I'm sick over it. We will figure out how to get Liv's stuff back soon. Crying face emoji. And then Tambra responds, I will do anything I can. Sedona will need to be hospitalized when she comes to her senses. Liv was the best she's ever had. Heart. Is she home yet? And then Liv's mom says, I'm picking her up at 9:30 p.m. And then she says, okay.
So this is allegedly when Liv is returning from Tulum and Sedona stays there. So her mom was probably, I mean, from what we've gathered, this is all alleged. We're piecing together pieces. But Sedona, if she really wasn't talking to anyone, that probably pissed her mom the fuck off too. And then that maybe made her mom more inclined to side with Liv and stuff. And then now that she's talking to her daughter, completely flipped, which is insane. But that's what I'm gathering.
Yeah, no, for sure. That, like, if she can't get a hold of her and then here's what happened from Liv's perspective, then like, and I'm guessing also this isn't the first time she's exhibited this kind of behavior.
I feel like if it was, these text messages may look a little different. Like it would be like, where the fuck did this come from? You know?
It seems like maybe this was a new level to which she was exhibiting this behavior, but not the first time in general. Then these are more texts where she says, good idea.
I think so, yeah.
Sounds good. Good idea. Sedona is so ashamed in displaying really dangerous behavior. She wants to snap her fingers and earn Liv back. It doesn't work like that, Buttercup. So yeah, her mom sounds like pissed at her in all of these.
Right.
Then she says, looks next day maybe, her facing her actions clean and sober has been gut-wrenching, but necessary. We're all aching here. Hope things are going better, heart. And then Liv's mom just thumbs down that text.
Yeah, what's weird is that in between the last text we just read and this one, there was no response. So the mom kind of stopped responding, probably wanting to just like be with her daughter and like glad.
Yeah,
that
I mean,
she
I
made
don't
it back
really know
alive.
why she would have much of it unless they were close to, but it doesn't seem like that was necessarily the
No.
case. When she says clean and sober, was she just like drinking a lot?
I don't know. Probably.
Clean and sober together sounds like definitely for.
She did drink a lot on the
substance.
trip, so I wouldn't doubt it.
I guess I was asking more like what, I guess, but if she plays basketball, she probably gets drug tested. So I was going to say, or was she like doing drugs?
Liv
as well?
never described that, so I wouldn't know.
So
But
probably
it
just
seems
drinking.
like it was just alcohol, yeah.
This one is insane. This is a Facebook post from Tambra Prince. And she says, we try to keep our business private, but because our girl and Main Street Social are in the public eye. What's Main Street Social? Okay, so context, apparently Sedona's parents owned some place called Main Street Social. We don't really fully know the context here, I guess, but like it had closed down recently. So I think people were maybe talking about that and then talking about her and I don't know, but that's what Main Street Social is apparently. Since they're in the public eye, we must be transparent. Sedona had an extreme psychotic break on her birthday in Mexico. She lost her passport and more importantly, lost the love of her life. She stopped taking her bipolar meds. Oh, did we know that she was bipolar?
We didn't. Liv didn't say that. From what we knew, there was just a lot of drunken mess happening, but she didn't specify anything about her mental health.
That does give a little more
Context.
yeah. From experience from people I know that like when they do then abuse substances on top of it and they're
It makes it
unmedicated,
worse, of
it can
course.
just be a recipe for disaster. But also it makes me think back to her referring to how she wanted to do manic shit on her birthday. Like that was what she kept saying.
Oh, right. Yeah, she did use that wording.
Anyway,
Weird.
she stopped taking her bipolar meds and remembers none of the episode. We are desperately trying to get her home to help her. Only God can fix this. Or maybe, you know, rehab and therapy could maybe help fix this.
I honestly just find it weird whenever somebody posts Facebook posts like this. I feel like it's a huge red flag when people get this into. There's never a reason to post this personal shit on Facebook.
Well, and it's especially weird because she's a college basketball player, and this is like very much not something that.
And she at this
They
point
would
is a social media person. So it's like the chances that somebody's gonna see this. I mean, obviously Liv's the one that's showing it. Like maybe we wouldn't have even thought to check it, but like there's always the chance that somebody could. And I just find it so weird that she would post this in general.
Yeah. Oh, and so then I think this is where the Main Street Social thing comes into play, but it's kind of irrelevant. She is done with that paragraph and moves on to say, we have a devious and illegal squatter at our food hall. We are in court this afternoon for a full eviction. We tried everything to peacefully encourage him to leave, but we have to resort to legal action. Our lawyer is beyond confident, but we pray. Love you.
Didn't it close like really soon after this? I don't know. Anyway, that's really
Maybe
not
it was
important.
like after they closed, that was why someone was squatting there, you know?
Maybe, yeah. Anyway, now we get to the next text message. I think she has a few more.
This is a conversation between Liv and the concierge at the hotel that they were staying in Tulum, which I guess there was numerous times that Sedona had to be like carried back to her room because she was so drunk that she couldn't walk. So this conversation is Liv saying, hi, can you please help me get a taxi to the Tulum airport? And they said, yes, are you ready? And she says, yes, I will be in 5. And like minutes? And she said, yes. Could someone help me with my luggage? I'm ready, my love. And they said, of course, my love. Now the bellboys are coming. A pleasure to help you. Hope you're well and relax. You're safe. Don't worry. Have a good trip home. And then she says, thank you so much. I couldn't appreciate you enough. Also, when will the refund be made? She said, you can discuss this with reception when you go to hand in your key and bracelet. And then she sent some emojis. And then Liv put text on screen. It says, my conversation with the concierge after running through the hotel screaming for help and being escorted back to my room with security to get my things. And she was already packed up and ready to leave. And so I booked the soonest flight out of Mexico while she stayed another 12 days.
What the fuck? What a disaster.
I have to say, concierge people at hotels are angels.
The best. Okay, so this is what caused Sedona to make her quote unquote apology. And it is something.
But also, really quick, guess who deleted their comment after that video?
Oh, yeah, of course. Tambra did.
Tambra. Before we even start, oh my God, the fucking smirk on her face. It lasts the entire video, but even just starting this, it's like, hey guys, That's it.
You know, I know some people smile when they get nervous, but don't do that.
This isn't a nervous smile. This is a like maniacal
I know.
smile.
I have seen and heard everything that's been said and what's transpired these last few weeks on the internet. And I have been quiet because I've genuinely just been listening and taking everything in. I have been holding myself accountable and reflecting into the mistakes that I've made and the things I've done in my past in order to be completely honest and transparent with y'all and hold myself accountable to the internet, right? Like I should have done a long time ago. And I wasn't ready to yet until last night. My parents were brought into this.
By brought into this, do you mean your mom left an out-of-pocket comment on Liv's video? Are you fucking kidding?
I know that wording is insane. Your mom should not have gotten involved. And if your mom's going to comment on my shit, it's fair game. It's not like she was just randomly. I mean, she had every opportunity to validate her story, to include your mom's shit prior to this. Just
she
to,
didn't.
you know, solidify. No, she didn't.
No.
So it's like bullshit that you're just acting like you just brought her into it for funsies.
Saying brought into this rather than like my parents involved themselves. Absolutely just batshit. Like that is not true.
My 60 and almost 70-year-old mother and father have been receiving countless death threats and getting harassed all day and are scared. It's cruel, it's wrong, and it's not the way that we should hold each other accountable. It's just not right. Now, I have never abused anybody in my life. That's not who I am. That's not what I do. That's not what I stand for. I've never abused anybody emotionally, physically, mentally, you know, verbally. That's not me. And that's not what I've done. That's not.
We have literally seen screenshots of her texts where she is very much, I guess verbally might not be the word because it's via text, but like, you're kidding, girl.
It's an insane plan of action here to literally not denounce all of the evidence that was put forth against you. For example, at the very end of Liv's whole series, she reads the most insane text message that is actually so daunting and scary, where it's just like, basically, my baby doll, like if you do anything on social media, I will have no choice but to hunt you for all your days, my love. I love you. Like it's literally so weird.
And not even just to Liv. Like we've seen examples of her saying like fucked up shit to the other girls too that have come forward.
Absolutely. Like denounce those text messages and be like, that was not me. Because if it was you, then this doesn't hold. Because then you have emotionally at the very least people.
And not to mention, like, she's gonna go on to basically try and frame this as like, this was just a one-off wild moment. And it's like,
right.
Well, first of all, a lot of people seem to have experienced these wild moments, but to sit there and be like, I have just been listening and taking accountability for what? Like, if you only did something like once and it was just like this crazy out of character moment, this doesn't feel like something you would have to sit and reflect on for like a very long period of time. And it's just like, I'm not buying it. Then what are you apologizing for? Just this one thing?
Right.
And also, just this one thing, still physically abusive and still psychologically abusive because we saw the text. You're crazy.
It's not who I am. Now, in saying that though, right, I know that I have not been the best partner and I take accountability for that. I have not been a great girlfriend at times and
How so?
How?
Can you elaborate, please?
And it's actually concerning if she sees everything that she's done as being a bad girlfriend. I'm scared because that's not what those text messages are. Those text messages are emotional abuse. You're riding a fucking roller coaster and taking people along with you against their will.
Yeah,
like
well, it's giving, I don't know what abuse means.
I know, literally.
And I have fallen short so many times in my relationships. I wanted to give my all. I wanted to be the best partner that I could be. I just didn't have the right tools at the time, and I wasn't that complete person.
Tools.
What tools do you need? Like discernment of like any kind of dangerous situation or like not evil actions? Like that's insane. I don't even understand what that's supposed to mean.
That I thought that I was. And to my ex-girlfriends, I genuinely am sorry. I really am. These past 4 months, and a lot of, you know, the last years of my life, but especially these past 4 months, I have been completely off social media and locked out from all the outside noise in the world to focus on myself and to go to intense trauma therapy and to heal so much pain that's been with me, right, for so long and affecting the choices that I make and the things that I do in my adult life. I have been journaling, right, meditating, these things that I need to do in order to be the best person that I can be and consistently grow and heal.
I also find it insane that you would have been able to go to a trauma therapist and journal and meditate and like do all this stuff and you still have come to the conclusion that you did not abuse any of these girls at all.
I hate therapy speak. Well, I don't know if she's actually seeing a therapist, but if she is, in my opinion, she's using it to weaponize the situation. And nobody cares if you're journaling. Nobody cares. Like, that is all
Clearly
fine
it's
and
not
dandy,
doing
but
that
it
much.
doesn't matter if you cannot. I mean, at the very least, let's say you really are just journaling. Fuck everything else. If you really are just journaling, at the very least, doesn't that usually involve like laying out everything you did? You would have somewhat of an understanding. You are purposefully being so vague about things. In my opinion, if you want to ask me why, I think it's because she does not want to corroborate those stories, but she also can't flat out deny them. So she has to go this route.
Being a bad partner is like, I don't even know, like
Not communicating effectively and like maybe not considering someone in
just being kind of an asshole.
decisions you make.
Exactly. Much more, I don't mean trivial things, but not as significant and like very harmful, and both physically and emotionally. And especially if you're going to a trauma therapist, wouldn't you maybe take a second to consider that you are the source of trauma for all these other people?
And even if that was a result for some reason of trauma that you've been through yourself,
It doesn't excuse it.
that's still an effect of something you've done. So it's very, very dismissive. And again, maybe if there was just one person coming out, but it's not just one person coming out. And to be honest, I can't even say that, because even if it was, the story and the proof and stuff is so compelling to me personally. But like, you have a pattern, girl. You cannot just sit here and be like, me? No, I journal.
It's
like,
not
that's
who I
not gonna cut it.
Well, and also Liv's story doesn't even start with like, not that this would make it any better either, but it's like, she doesn't start with like, she was the best girlfriend, we were having a great time all the time. She starts by literally saying that she accidentally spilled some beer on her leg on the flight over to Mexico, and that she like moved seats and wouldn't talk to her the rest of the flight. And that is not like being a bad girlfriend. That is being like psychologically and emotionally abusive.
Yeah.
Feel and learn and develop into the human being and the adult that I know that I can be. I hope that everyone involved in this can just find peace and healing and forgiveness, and that we can move on and learn something from this. And that, you know, you all know that in my life, all I strive to do is to be good and to give back and to help people and to make this world a better place. And that's all I will continue to do. It is. So
Be good at what? Basketball? Because we missed how you're about to be like a good person all the time.
I literally have never, ever seen her come up on my For You page to like talk about some charity she's working on. Like, what is she talking about? She's
No.
not known for that.
This entire thing is the most dismissive, and just like her justifying her abuse, then framing it as like just being a bad partner. Not anything. It was not abuse. She literally acts like that's the most absurd accusation ever. And it's like, you were. Like, what are you talking
It's
about?
so condescending for her to stand here and be like, I hope you all find peace. Yeah, I hope they fucking do too, Sedona. Like, if I had seen this, I would have been so furious had I been one of her ex-girlfriends. Like,
I hope
you
that we
condescending
all
pomp
learn
and bitch. Like,
something.
yeah.
They are learning to stay the fuck away from you. What are you learning? Because
Literally.
clearly not enough.
But Liv swiftly responded to this. She stuck to her guns, which is good. Not that this is a very intimidating apology or something that she would have gotten hate from by any means. Sedona got wrecked in the comments and nobody was really on her side, but nonetheless, she sticks to her original claims.
I've just been listening and taking everything in. I have been holding myself accountable and reflecting into the mistakes that I've made and the things I've done in my past in order to be completely honest and transparent with y'all and hold myself accountable to the internet, right? Like I should have done a long time
Not her
ago.
saying accountable twice and not taking accountability
Now,
once.
I have never abused anybody in my life. That's not who I am. That's not what I do. That's not what I stand for. I've never abused anybody emotionally, physically, mentally, you know, verbally. That's
Just textually.
What kind of apology is that? First off, taking accountability and then justifying your actions in the same video is not an apology. You confessed to me, my mom, Joe, everyone in my life. I have you literally taking accountability on text message, documented. Are we serious? And I don't believe in sending death threats to a person, but I also don't believe in gaslighting somebody into thinking that what happened didn't happen. Not only do I deserve an apology, Alyssa deserves one, Riley deserves one, Faithlyn deserves one. You didn't take accountability for anything. This is a bunch of bullshit. I'm sorry, but an apology is not making excuses for your actions in the same video. It's not. You left me in the jungle. You pushed me off the ATV, and I crashed off of it. You didn't talk to me your entire birthday and let me literally lose my mind in that hotel room, trying everything I could to help your day, until you then cheated on me right in front of my face with your boobies out. Remember that? Remember the video I have of that too? Yeah.
This just goes to show, I'm like, she has way more receipts than she's even shared, because she is like, I don't know why, I would have fucking posted them all by now, but like,
I know, same.
it's crazy. And I don't ever understand people like this, Sedona, because you know that people have stuff to prove you wrong, but you just like keep lying. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Before we go any further, we have a word from our sponsor, Lola V.
Lola V is a hair care line developed by none other than Jennifer Aniston, you know, legendary, the Rachel, everybody. I've always looked at her hair and loved it. And now she has a hair care line and it's great. What a surprise.
We all know how we put our hair through a lot, through like heat styling, through dyeing. I know I had an experience with that where my hair was kind of dead. Jennifer Aniston was fed up with all of this damage, and her solution was to create her own hair care products.
So she actually worked with industry-leading chemists to develop a proprietary bond technology. Wow, that's fancy words.
Smart.
And it was made so that the Lola V lineup could deliver on both naturally derived ingredients and high-performance results. So they didn't want to sacrifice good quality ingredients, but they wanted it to perform super well. A lot of times you need to use some questionable stuff to be able to do that. And this is actually, funny enough, made from chia seeds. Isn't that interesting?
I've never heard that before.
I know. And one thing that I love about it, Lily brings it up all the time, it lathers super well. I love a good lather. It makes me feel like I'm getting things really clean. I know most of that is in my head, but it matters. And I also love their leave-in treatment, which leaves my hair feeling super soft. So all around, solid products.
I agree. And if you want to try it out, you can check out all the Lola V products at your local Ulta Beauty location, or head directly to their website at lolav.com, and you can use our exclusive code DWKT15 and you get 15% off your order.
That's 15% off your order at LOLAVIE.com with promo code DWKT15. Please note that you can only use one promo code per order and discounts can't be combined.
And after you purchase, they're going to ask you where you heard about it, and you're going to tell them the Girlies sent you.
And thank you so much to Lola V for sponsoring this episode. Well, part of me has to question in general whether people who commit atrocities like this genuinely believe they're bullshit to cope with the things that they do. Because we've talked about how people being defensive is a natural response. Like, people are attacking you, you're going to defend yourself, whether you just killed someone, like literally. So I wonder if it's like she genuinely doesn't think she did anything wrong, which is very concerning.
Or thinks she was
she's
justified
trying to
in her
gaslight.
actions, and that's why it's not wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also get like explaining yourself, and some people see it as excuses, and you're not even trying to excuse it. You're just trying to like say like, that's how we got here. But that's not even what she does. Like you said, she keeps the whole thing super vague. She doesn't mention any of them by name. She doesn't mention anything specific that she did. It was just that she's a bad partner. If your definition of a bad partner is literally leaving your girlfriend in a jungle to be eaten by jaguars, potentially, we need to have you maybe go back and learn what that means and redefine, because what the fuck?
There was no accountability taken whatsoever in this video, and I think you just should have not. You hit me, Sedona, multiple times, and then proceeded to square up over me and said, "I'm 6'7", bitch. You want to know what domestic is? I'll show you," because I was screaming at you, telling you to stop. And you know that. You took accountability for fucking everything. You told me you were going to get intensive therapy immediately after. But what did you do? You went and were with a whole nother woman in New York and then proceeded to hurt her because you were so blackout drunk. In case you needed a reality check, this happened in May. It's August. It's only been 3 fucking months. And if you were able to get therapy in that amount of time to rewire whatever trauma that caused you to do what you did to me and multiple other women, send that number my way, please. I honestly would have rather stayed quiet than come forward with this bullshit. excuse of an apology.
Valid. I feel like that's a slap in the fucking face to listen to that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, the first thing I felt was just rage, like the smirk, saying so many times, like, I'm gonna take accountability for being a bad partner. You couldn't even have said, when I drink, I do unacceptable thing. I don't know, fucking anything else. Like, you literally are just like, I never did that, but like, sometimes I'm not the best partner.
Well, and that's another thing is like, there's so many people that are in relationships with alcoholics that love them so much, and they know that they very much like become a different person when they're drunk. I haven't gotten the vibe that like it's only when she's drunk. This seems like a Sedona thing, not that a drunk Sedona thing would be any better, but you know what I mean? Like, this isn't even them being like, we want you to get help so you can like be yourself. No, it's like, you need to get help because something else is going on here. Her being drunk just exacerbates it all, for sure. I just can't believe she reduced it to saying she was a bad partner.
I know. And Riley also responded, she does like flash, I guess, what it would look like on your phone, where it's just like a bunch of text messages, but it doesn't actually show anything.
Now, I have never abused anybody in my life.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so and we know we've covered some of the text messages that Riley has put on in the past, but I would assume that anybody that's come out with stuff against Sedona has so much shit on her that they haven't put out, and I don't know why. I did try to zoom into that, and it all is very blurry. I mean, I don't know if you can enhance things, but it's very blurry.
I might be able to download it and enhance it.
Zoom in.
Yeah.
But it's definitely unforgettable with my astigmatism.
I think a lot of those, though, were maybe repeats of
what she already shared.
Yeah. Just showing like all of them together was definitely makes more of a...
Yeah. But I mean, that's pretty much it. That's the update. I'm not surprised that her exes are like, you bitch. Like, are you kidding me? What the fuck was this? I just can't believe that's what she went with after all this time.
I'm pretty sure Sedona also sent Liv a cease and desist, which is interesting because maybe that's because she does know that she has way more that she could be sharing, and she was trying to like nip it in the bud, even though like, good luck, girl.
Cease and desists are
nothing.
The most ridiculous legal tactic to me ever. It's like, pay me $1,000 to send this letter that, you know, doesn't really do much. Just puts in writing that we warned you. Legally.
Exactly.
Like, what the fuck?
But it's like, again, it's not defamation if it's true. So if she's just sharing your literal text messages and stuff, like a cease and desist isn't going to really help you much.
Too bad, so sad. Yeah, and what's even crazier is like, you really thought you were going to come on here and that was going to help your mom getting death threats. I'm not condoning death threats at all. We always say that on this channel. Don't do that. But really, that was your chance, and
also,
like that's what you did with it.
If that is happening, I definitely obviously disagree. That's horrible. Don't do that. It's weird. But I do think that there's oftentimes that people maybe exaggerate that a little bit. And do I think her mom was probably getting
everybody
harassed?
Else says it.
For sure.
You know what I have to question, and I do think this may be a little bit morbid for people who haven't been on the internet as long as we have, but I wonder if they're including like, you should die in death threats. Do you know what I mean? Because like, I've gotten a bunch of those. I don't really take that as like a threat, like that you're gonna kill me. Like, that's just like, you don't want me here, which like, too bad. Here I am.
Like, obviously I don't have access, like I'm not seeing all of your mentions, but like even through a lot of the stuff that I have been adjacent to and like watched, there was very rarely like people literally, well, first of all, I didn't even see a lot of like, you should die. But like further than that, death threats where it's like actually substantial, where you think that it's like someone is literally like threatening to come kill you. There was that one account that was posting like that just obscene shit.
Yeah.
Last year.
Like the worst shit they could imagine.
Yeah. But even that, like you weren't actually feeling threatened like she was going to come show up at your house. It was like clearly
that's what I have to question. I'm like, I've gotten some really unhinged crazies out there, but I've never actually thought they were going to do anything. I feel like a death threat is like, if I see you at this place by your house, like it's over for you, I'm waiting for you. I don't know, like I feel like people talk a lot of shit, and I'm not saying it's right. Again, we think that's fucked up. Even to tell someone like, you deserve to not be here on this earth is such a cruel thing to say to anyone. But I don't know, I guess I just have been on the internet too long. I'm just like, oh girl, like,
I was gonna say, as that we're jaded again, but like I don't know.
Super.
I also
just must be that.
I wonder, like, what are you categorizing as death threats, and how legitimate are those, or are you just saying that to garner sympathy, to be like, my poor old elderly mother is like, yeah, well,
yeah, and you have to ask that because everybody does that whenever they're in hot water. Everyone says they get death threats. I'm like, really?
Well, in
every
situations
scenario,
like
in
this,
every niche of the internet,
it would make sense. I mean, and again, not okay. Don't do this. But I would understand if Sedona was getting those death threats. I feel like it's weird that people would be going to her mom to like say that. I see people going and being like, you're a bad mother, but like, I don't know.
Right.
Death threats feels a little
sure.
like extreme for her involvement in this.
It seems unlikely. Anyway, we have another topic, so we will move on. But that's pretty much the update. That's where we're at right now. Liv has moved on. Sedona has not posted since. And we'll see what happens next. But that was such a sorry fucking apology. Pretty bad.
I feel like she was mostly just doing it to cover her own ass and hopefully still like not. I mean, we already knew that she wasn't getting kicked off the basketball team, but maybe just to like have some extra.
Insane way to cover your ass.
Yeah.
That did the opposite.
Literally, I'm like, you could have stayed quiet
now.
and it would have been more effective, but okay.
Anyway, so moving on to our second topic, we have to talk about Be Better. I never wanted to talk about him on this fucking channel. I swear I never wanted to.
I didn't even know that his username was Be Better, much less that he owned a honey company.
And it came out way after he gained popularity on TikTok.
Was he always called Be Better?
Misinformation police here. It seems Jesse has reoffended. Be Better did not launch his honey brand after his downfall series. He launched it before it. He actually used to have an entirely health-based TikTok where he gave recipes and borderline pseudoscientific advice.
Throw your retinol in the garbage and light it on fire, because I'm going to show you how you can make it at home with only 2 natural ingredients.
However, when he did his first downfall series video on the D'Amelio sisters and saw how much attention that got, he was hooked. He proceeded to abandon his health content and stick to his genius, revolutionary, one-of-a-kind marketing advice.
So yes, I do think he was always called Be Better, but then he started shifting into, I don't know how to categorize this content per se, because I can't even say it's what we do.
No.
You know what I mean?
No,
Because
well, I'll tell you, it's consistently, all of the videos, it's never positive content. I'm not saying our content's super positive, but he literally, like, the main theme through all of his things, it's the downfall of this person.
I was the youngest person in Canada to graduate with an MBA, and today I'm going to use it to analyze the potential downfall of Hailey Bieber, and more specifically why I don't believe her skincare brand Rhode will be one that will survive the next 5 years. I was the youngest person in Canada to graduate with an MBA, and today I'm going to use it to explain why Prime Hydration by Logan Paul and KSI will be going bankrupt in the next 24 months unless they listen to the advice I'm about to give in this video. Hi, I was the youngest person in Canada to graduate with an MBA, and today I'm going to use it to potentially cancel myself by officially predicting the downfall of Selena Gomez's brand Rare Beauty.
And must point out that usually I think when he's covering them, and don't get me wrong, I do not watch a lot of his content. I usually skip them. But I was familiar definitely on who he was and the kind of content he makes. But it's not even necessarily like when someone is literally going through a downfall. It's him like preemptively saying like why they're going to have a downfall.
Right.
And the reason he's qualified to do this apparently is because he's
the youngest person to graduate with an MBA in Canada.
Okay, first of all, I did hear from someone that like, I guess the school he graduated from is like very low tier. It's
not
like a safety
that hard
school for people.
But, still, he has a degree. I don't, so I can't speak.
That's something to be proud of.
Shit.
But also, just because you have a degree doesn't necessarily mean that you, like, know everything, much less are you qualified to be,
100%.
Like, shitting on people or, like, predicting their downfall or maybe preying on their downfall.
Well, the interesting part of him citing his degree is, first of all, he does it, that's like his whole shtick. He does it in the beginning of every video, and then he has it in this frame that he kind of, like, tosses, and he's like, I'm the youngest person to do the whole thing in Canada, blah, blah, blah. He says that as a sort of credential, which I think is what separates him from like channels like us. We are 2 idiots kikiing about drama on the internet.
Like, we are
and we admittedly are that.
Yeah,
that's who we are. We're not trying to be anything else. I went to Miami-Dade College for 1 semester and I left all my classes. So
you didn't go to college, did you?
I went into a college. Yes, I did.
No, because you were famous by 19.
It's weird that he would cite his degree and be like, oh, I'm a marketing whatever, and then only focus on the downfall. Like, we focus on drama and things that happen on the internet that are kind of crazy and worth commentary because those are the current events of the internet. Like, it's always something wild, something crazy, somebody stealing from somebody. We do have a segment on our show that's called We Love the Internet, which sometimes is really beautiful things and sometimes it's JoJo Siwa eating her boogers.
Oh my God.
But
sorry about that,
I
guys.
just think that for him, it's weird that he doesn't also include the rise of, because he's coming from a marketing perspective. So naturally, why can't you also tell us what people are doing right so that other people can maybe get ideas or whatever? He's just focused on the negative. You're not a drama channel, are you?
Let me pull up. I was texting one of my friends about it because she kept sending me links to stuff. So my friend pointed out that he does very much only do the negative content. I said, well, and it's interesting how as a marketing person, he wouldn't focus on any of those same people's rise, because like they had to have a rise to be able to have a downfall, and they haven't even had the downfall yet. So you're really just being a negative Nancy.
Well, yeah, that's what it feels like. And that's the vibe I always got from his content. I hate to say that every fucking topic.
No,
but
I was going to say that too.
I could not skip his fucking videos fast enough.
I have no proof that that is how I've always felt, but I've always gotten weird vibes and always just gotten that he's like a condescending little pretentious asshole that like, basically I said, they all had to have a rise in order for them to fall, but he's instead focusing on their hypothetical fall rather than the documented rise.
Well, that would be, honestly, like if we just pick random people on the internet to just like shit on and they didn't do anything, we're just like hypothesizing that they could do some crazy shit. I feel like that's a weird main shtick to have.
Like personally observing that we think that they're like on the verge of a downfall, kind of like we see.
Yeah, like we're just like, this person has been acting a little bit strange lately. I think everything in their life is about to go to shit. It's like, well, we can just talk about it if their life goes to shit, because otherwise you're just kind of putting bad juju out there.
And you're just basing it off of, again, your education, which, yeah, education's important, but also especially with social media. And I think what we like to think, hopefully, that we bring to the table is that, no, we don't have marketing degrees or like, we haven't studied influencers, but guess what? We have both worked in this industry alongside influencers and being influencers for over 10 years now. So like, I think often experience is more valuable than education. I'm not saying always. I'm not saying even necessarily that we know more than him. Though. But I think it's interesting that he is such an expert when he doesn't have any actual experience really in the field.
Well, that's not true. He's a Nepo baby. I hate to spoil things. His dad is like the chief fucking executive. We'll get to that in a second. At Airboss of America, this huge industrial thing, and he works on the marketing team there. How'd he get that position?
But specifically though, I think like, and again, like marketing degree, great, impressive. He's the youngest one. Awesome. Kudos to you. But how much of that marketing education was studying influencers in particular? And like, I get that marketing is universal. There's stuff that will apply, but like, it's like such a developing industry still. And like, it's always shifting.
I don't even want to sound mean, but like personally, when I would see his videos, there was nothing that he said that I couldn't have gathered from like scrolling someone's page and like just watching them for a few days or like obvious, Googling them. Maybe it's because I've been an influencer for so long, but it didn't seem super revolutionary. So I couldn't even sit through any of his videos. I'm so sorry. I'm not trying to be rude, but like it did seem very condescending. Yeah. It seemed weird. And what I found even weirder was when he moved from that commentary and like shitting on other people and talking about their downfall to launching his honey business, which like he was always known as Be Better. And then he was like, you know what? B-E-E, I'm going to launch a honey company.
So was his username just B-E Better?
No. It was always B-E-E Better. So when he did that, people were like, was this always your weird marketing plot? Because they think he's coming from some marketing genius brain. And he was like, no, actually it wasn't. I'm like, well, you should have said it was.
So then it's even like, it was more like on his higher, like be better. What?
Yeah, ew. Like be better. And I'm going to tell you how.
Yeah,
because of my MBA.
I always think it's interesting when people are like, I'm a marketing expert, but then they don't ever seem to employ the same kind of stuff that they preach. I mean, I'm not saying he doesn't with this website, but like when I look at this website, I'm not like, wow, that branding, that marketing, like it looks fine, but it doesn't blow my mind.
And like I knew he had come out with honey, but like I don't hear people talking about it. You know what I mean?
I genuinely,
like, how good are you at
the
marketing?
other day was the first time I even knew that was a thing. Like I had no clue that he had a honey business, and that's so random. But also a very expensive honey business, $75 for a jar of honey.
Well, look at where it comes from.
It's handpicked from the pristine lands of the Holy Mountain, the purest sovereign land on earth. These herbs stand testament to nature's unmatched therapeutic gifts. Look, I'm all for trying homeopathic remedies and stuff. I think a lot of the time they can help. Maybe these herbs, if they're sourced from this pristine land, they're gonna be better, but they seem kind of base, like chamomile, lavender.
So I don't know. No, I don't think it's the herbs that are sourced. I think it is the honey, because he does describe in some sort of promo video that it's from this like specific place, that it's super special. Well, people allegedly found that place and they have a website and the honey's way cheaper on it. Anyway, moving right along.
Yeah.
The reason we're even talking about him.
Oh yeah, that.
Is because his downfall came, allegedly. people were like, you know what? Today's your day. So he decided to do a downfall of Kamala Harris, and that did not go well, you could say.
It was not
If you
well
don't know,
received.
Kamala Harris is running for president, and
Is the current
he
vice
was like,
president.
you know what? I know I talked mainly about influencers and just random shit on the internet. He did one specifically about lip balm. I know this is so random, but he did a downfall of some guy, I think his name is Nick, who launched this like space lip balm. He talked about how basically Nick was not one of the owners and that he was just like slapping his name on there, which Nick then like proved wrong. Was like, that's not true.
Okay, so I'm just gonna cut to the chase with this one. I believe that Nick Cerniolo is lying about his lip balm company, and I actually have some exclusive evidence to prove it. So the reason why this entire video came about and why I went down this rabbit hole in the first place is because you guys asked me for an actual honest review of these products. So I decided to bite the bullet and I purchased them myself, which came to 83 Canadian dollars. So $83 is obviously a ridiculous and borderline offensive amount of money to spend on lip balm, but I did it anyway in the interest of research. And in doing this research, I uncovered some very sketchy things about this brand that I think honestly need to be exposed because it reveals a much more important conversation that we need to have about influencer-led products. So let's talk about why this honestly does really bother me. I'm using my lip balm, by the way, not theirs. One day mine will become available and it will be much better and it will not be $83, I promise you that.
But what rubbed me the wrong fucking way is I am 99.9% sure I'm not spreading misinformation on this. He launched a lip balm as like a cheeky little like, this isn't hard. Like I launched a lip balm and it's bigger than yours and it's cheaper than yours and you guys could get it here. And I
That's
thought that was
also
so
though, like,
weird.
like as we said, before a few days ago, I had no idea this man even had a honey company. So like, how successful is it? Or does he just kind of like act like it's successful and like no one really knows?
I don't know. I don't follow him enough to know, but regardless, I just think that he does things sometimes that I'm like, it doesn't seem like your intention is to genuinely sit on the internet and have an intellectual conversation about the marketing tactics that could possibly get someone in trouble in some way. Like, I think that if you want to just be, you know, a petty king and have a little kiki on the internet, then just say that. But don't present yourself as some genius who's figured it all out. Because if we did that, we would be literally ridiculed. Like, everyone knows exactly what we are.
We don't try to claim that we're something crazy and revolutionary. It's like, no, we're just like friends and we get things wrong and we're
It's not
sorry.
an excuse to like intentionally, you know, get shit wrong and like harm people's reputation on purpose. Like you're malicious about it and you're using your platform to be an asshole. But like,
You're just like waiting for their downfall. It's like, oh, well, they're doing this wrong. And it's not like he's offering like constructive criticism or trying to be like, this is how you should avoid your downfall. It's like, nope, it's inevitable. It's coming.
I mean, sometimes he does do that. Like he will give some like, well, here are some things that led to it. So I guess somebody could take that as advice to like stop doing those things. But again, it's nothing crazy revolutionary. I just think it's a weird place to put yourself in. Like if you're not super sure that that's the content you want to be making, do not paint yourself as some person that like knows all, because this is gonna happen. What happened is gonna happen.
Also, when you have less than, and don't get me wrong, I know that this is nowhere, we are nowhere near these numbers, but he has around 850,000 followers. And it's like, if he's gonna be commenting on like the downfall of Charlie D'Amelio, it's like,
She's fine.
you could have some opinions and stuff, but like maybe a little out of your league. It just feels like if he has so much knowledge and how to be just this like not ever have a downfall and be super successful. Well, first of all, I don't think he would have uploaded this video that we're about to watch. But then also it just feels like he acts like he's smarter than everyone and he knows everything. And it's like, if you did, maybe though, wouldn't you be as successful as these people that you talk about?
I think that his argument would be like, well, I don't want to be successful. I just...
Oh, well, of course.
Yeah, like I just want to come on the internet and speak the truth or something of that sort. But anyway, I don't know why he decided to dip his toes into politics, but it did not fucking go well. This is such a weird route because again, yeah, he does do this for influencers, but to do this for someone running for president, and especially like when both sides feel so passionate and everything's so like, it's just like, girl, at least at the very minimum, come with receipts. And he didn't, and it caused a fucking uproar.
That's the whole thing. Is the whole video is very much like just kind of saying things that are like his observations, I guess, but also that are rooted in nothing. And also are meant to like attack Kamala, but then he doesn't ever address how like some of the stuff he's saying is very much applicable to someone else?
Hi, so I have a master's degree in business, and today I'm going to use it to analyze the marketing strategy of Kamala Harris's campaign, and ultimately why I believe if she continues with the horrible marketing strategy she has been employing, why she will ultimately end up losing the presidency to Donald Trump. So obviously this is a highly emotional and contentious topic for a lot of people, but the reason why I did want to speak on it is that I think there's a lot of parallels to be drawn between the marketing of a product and the marketing of a political candidate. And while I wish that wasn't the case, because I wish that politics was less of an exercise in personal branding and more of a deeper discussion on substantive policies that will actually be impacting the everyday lives of human beings, that just simply is not the case. And although I'm not American, I'm Canadian.
Key thing there, he's Canadian. So he has a lot of opinions.
Yeah,
and I know that like America's stuff like affects everywhere. Yeah, I totally get that. But kind of an interesting aspect here.
Your elections have consequences for the entire world, so I think anybody that wants to put their 2 cents in is allowed to. So based on my objective analysis, I believe that Kamala Harris's campaign is built upon very flawed marketing strategy that is very heavily relying on superficial social media engagement, identity politics, and a highly crafted and tightly controlled public image of her persona that is so far removed from the reality of who she is and so socially and media engineered to the point that it is essentially a house of cards that is doomed to collapse. So the first marketing strategy that Kamala Harris is employing, and we are all collectively experiencing it whether we realize it or not, is the blank slate strategy. This is essentially where she is being intentionally vague and ambiguous in the language that she uses and the way that she appears publicly in order to take advantage of the psychological phenomenon of projection. Because if you are extremely vague and generic and say some of the right words without specifically committing to policies or being very clear about what your values are, human beings will simply project onto you what they want to see. Progressives will see her as extremely progressive and forward thinking. More moderate voters will see her as somebody that's a little bit more measured, and you can kind of see reasoning behind why they're doing it. I don't think it's completely stupid, but I think it is doomed to fail because although it is working in the short term, she's going to eventually be put into scenarios like debates where she'll be forced to take firm stances on topics, and because she hasn't done that intellectual work to decide where she really lands on.
Because she hasn't done the intellectual work.
First of all, there's so many things wrong already, but it's like, we're talking about a debate against Trump, right? It's like, I could win
literally,
that,
that's what I was thinking. I was like, I know that a lot of conservatives have been very vocal about like, no, she doesn't want to debate. She doesn't want to do any interviews, blah, blah, blah.
It
and
was
I'm like,
him that didn't want to debate.
I guess she's been like notably not doing a ton of interviews.
Okay.
And they claim that that's because people ask her a question. She just like can't answer it because she's all over the place.
Talking about
and
coconut trees.
And I hate like whataboutisms where it's like, but what about Trump? But like literally,
It's a cognitive
that's what you're
dissonance.
comparing it to. I'm like, I watched him answer a question recently where he somehow, I don't remember what the question even was, but it definitely wasn't what warranted this answer, about how he had a bigger crowd turnout at something than Martin Luther King.
He talks too fucking much.
No one had mentioned Martin Luther King. That was him bringing that up. And I'm like, she is the one that can't answer. What?
That's the thing is like when you are a political candidate, especially running for the presidency, like I just feel like you are under a microscope regardless, and people are going to take clips and people are going to deduce things from the smallest moments. Sometimes there's validity to the things that people are observing, and sometimes there just fucking isn't. Especially like he's throwing up, if you're not watching the episode, he's throwing up just like random things to prove his point that don't really hit very hard. I think that like her being on social media, for instance, and like trying to garner younger people, much like how Trump is trying to fucking do God knows what with Aiden Ross.
Yeah,
Like,
I was going to say,
get the
meanwhile,
younger
Aiden
vote.
Ross and him are sitting in their cyber truck listening to the Beach
Exactly.
Boys.
And
Like,
must I say, like Kamala Harris like is kind of going off on TikTok. Like some of the things are really funny. That is not confirmation that she has zero like plans and policies that she would like to put in place. Like even like if you're just objectively like you don't like her, that is not factual. That's just taking a small piece of a pie and presenting it as like this is who she is.
well, and also, I just think it's so weird because like she has had a lot of success in doing social media campaigns. I'm like, isn't that good marketing?
I know.
Like, what are you talking about?
That's so funny. Yeah.
Regardless of whether you think that you agree with all of her policies, I'm like, no, she's fucking getting a lot of people engaged that probably wouldn't be otherwise. And his thing is like, well, people that are engaging, they're not even living in the US and they're under 18.
How do you know
I'm like,
that?
how do you know?
You have fucking access to the insights? That is such a weird thing to say.
Last time I checked, TikTok isn't exclusively under 18-year-olds that live outside the US. So like he's taking these things as if it's just like fact, and it's like, how would you possibly know that?
Yeah.
Like, because you're not from the US?
Lands on these important issues, she may end up looking unqualified for the job.
I also saw someone point out that they're like, she hasn't done the intellectual work, but she was the first, and he'll get into identity politics soon, but like first woman vice president, first woman California senator. Like she has like a lot of accolades in the political sphere, which again, not to do a whataboutism, but it's like Trump, his experience is that he was like a businessman who filed bankruptcy
and doesn't pay people, allegedly.
I don't know, I'm just saying. But like, it's crazy to be like, she's unqualified, but then like the opponent, like, and the only reason I'm doing the like, but what about him is because that is the only other opponent. And that is what you were implying by shitting on her, is that the other opponent is qualified. And it's like, because he's a white man that got money when he was born and like was a businessman that didn't even have like, it's just crazy.
Yeah, and there are third parties. They're not literally the only two opponents, but unfortunately the way our system is designed, that they pretty much are.
The only two.
Strategy is the only reason it's even remotely effective is specifically because she is solely relying on identity politics. And although I completely understand and respect the excitement associated with nominating the first woman president, the first black woman president, the first South Asian American black woman president, and that's something that is exciting and something that will understandably galvanize a certain demographic of the population that will vote for her solely based on that alone.
I think that is such just shut the fuck up. Like, people aren't like, she's a woman, that's why I'm voting. Do they love that is a thing because it shows a lot of progress in society that we're at the place where that can happen? Yeah. But if she was just like totally saying stuff that they disagreed with, it wouldn't be like, but she's a woman. Like, that's reducing the intellectual capacity of everyone that's voting as well, to say that it's just because she's a certain race or
he's like, I know you guys are getting real worked up. She's a lady. It's just like, no.
That's the thing. I'm like, this whole thing is very laced in misogyny as well.
Right, yeah,
but
I
then
agree.
also, not him bringing up identity politics when the biggest part of Trump's smear campaign against her is trying to say that she's not black. The fact that she's Indian and black, apparently biracial does not exist anymore. That's
yeah, I literally saw him sitting down. He's just like, I just found out she was black. I didn't even know that. It's like, sir, please stop talking.
I just don't understand how you can then act like she's relying on identity politics when it's the other campaign that is very much putting that at the forefront of the conversation, because that's the worst thing they have on her.
I do not believe it is a substitute for an actionable policy platform that will actually impact the lives of the American people, because people are currently suffering economically and they want to understand and feel secure in the fact that you have a plan to ameliorate their suffering. So it seems like her campaign is relying on the sole fact that people will be so excited to vote for the first black woman that they will be willing to overlook the fact that she doesn't have a true vision for the country. I do not believe that is something that should be relied upon, especially in the context of the United States.
Have you seen them like campaigning that is what they're relying on? Because that's news to me.
Well, the thing is, we get to his apology in a second, but he says like, actually, now looking back, that's not true. And it's like, yeah, that's not true. She has not once stated her identity and like put it at the forefront of like at every rally. It's like, let's vote a black Indian woman into president. Like, that's not what she's relying on at all.
It's wild because it's literally like, how are you saying that that's her main campaigning point when it's like, no, that's the other side that has brought that up. This like, that is who's having that conversation. It's just mind blowing that that's one of his main points here. Is that she's relying on identity politics.
And it's like, yeah.
Actually, the other party, they're the ones that are bringing that up, and that is their main point for trying to dismantle her stuff. And they're mad because she's been seeing a lot of success, and him posting the joy thing earlier, he had like a screenshot. Yeah, I get that that's not like a super hard-hitting political, like, but honestly, people have felt so hopeless, at least, I mean, people that are not pro-Trump have felt so hopeless in politics for so long that, especially I think since Tim Walz has come on, and it has kind of reinvigorated people's hope for like what could be in the future, and it just like has made people kind of more excited and given them joy. Like, literally, I've been scrolling through social media because of her marketing, and like I have felt more encouraged.
Yeah, honestly, it's not to be like disillusioned to any person, because quite frankly, I think
politicians are all full of shit.
Literally, I stand by that. Like, I don't think that any one person is going to save this country, especially because the way everything's set up, you know, checks and balances, we need the right people in the right positions.
No, I've always said
it's difficult. But what I will say is like, to take that campaign, for instance, and just like use that one picture of her just being like, well, I don't know what it said, but something about joy and like picking joy, just to like reduce it to like, she doesn't talk about policies. Like, yes, she does. And like, even Trump babbles on forever, but there are times where he talks about policies too. Like, we can't just choose one little thing, especially when you're someone that's, I mean, you just showed us your degree, you're a researcher, you're a MBA, youngest person in Canada.
Like, with everything in place and how the system works, one person isn't going to be necessarily
the saving grace.
Exactly. And I think that is why I've always thought that Trump was more harmful, because even beyond any policies, whoever is the president is the face of our country and is like
empowering people.
Exactly. And I'd rather have someone empowering joy in the
Right.
people.
The
But and
vitriol.
also the joy I don't even get necessarily from the two of them. It's that everyone seems more invigorated and more hopeful. And that's what kind of, it's like a contagious kind of feeling. Him acting like she's just like, joy, and then like doesn't say
Walks off
anything
stage,
ever. I'm
yeah.
like,
It's
okay,
silly.
did you research this at all?
And the other issue with this lack of a policy platform is it leaves her very vulnerable to attacks from Donald Trump because they can project any image onto her that they want, and she has no reasonable way to articulate a defense to them because she doesn't really stand for anything. So the next
Except for the accusations that she's not black and people pulling up her fucking birth certificate and being like, it doesn't say black on there. It says Jamaican. Guess what? 90% of Jamaica is black.
next issue that I have with the Kamala Harris campaign is they seem to be very heavily relying on social media engagement as well as celebrity endorsements to create this sort of image of widespread popularity. The issue with using social media as a way to evaluate the current success of the Kamala Harris campaign is that social media metrics can be extremely inflated and very misleading because a huge demographic on TikTok, for example, are people under the age of 18. They will not be voting. And it's also further inflated by the fact that many people on TikTok are in international countries who just enjoy watching the politics for the show of it, like me. But we will not be voting in the election, so it can lead her campaign to be in a place where they are overestimating their grassroots support when in reality they don't have it because it doesn't really exist. So the danger is that this perceived popularity may not translate into actual votes, particularly in the swing states, which will be the deciding factors of this election. And her campaign's obsession with social media and viral moments and celebrity culture is further illustrated by the decisions they're making by having Megan Thee Stallion twerking on stage or thinking it was a good idea to have Oprah Winfrey appear at the DNC talking.
Okay, Trump is just mad because he can't get anyone to go to his. Notoriously, presidential candidates have always had celebrity endorsements and always have performances, but Trump does not usually have any because people go out of their way to like not give him permission to use their songs or not go to perform. So like acting like he's just policy driven, only focusing on the politics, and she's just only focusing on celebrities. Do you think he wouldn't have had Meg Thee Stallion twerking on stage if he could have gotten her? Because I think he would have.
Talking about the middle class because they clearly do not have an understanding that the average American and average person absolutely despises celebrities, does not want to be talked down to from them, and will not be voting based upon who they endorse. And I'll go even further that I think it does the complete opposite of what they're trying to accomplish. The mere presence of Oprah Winfrey will directly result in people voting against Kamala Harris because of how much people despise celebrity culture and despise billionaires like Oprah Winfrey and everything that
This killed me because people despise billionaires. What about, I don't think Trump is a billionaire, but isn't JD Vance a billionaire? That man literally comes from money. Have you seen the donut shop video? I love it.
The Zoom has come to town. Thank you for letting us come in here. Yes, sir. Yeah. She doesn't want to be on film, guys, so just cut her out of anything. Appreciate that, man. I'm JD Vance. I'm running for vice president. Let's see it. Okay.
It's crazy to act like people would not vote for her because Oprah, I mean, I know a lot of people don't like Oprah Winfrey, but first of all, despising celebrity culture is a weird, like, I don't feel like everyone despises celebrity culture. Otherwise, there wouldn't be so much celebrity culture. But specifically acting like they're unrelatable, and that's the reason why it just is such a red flag. They would never vote for her because she got these unrelatable people when the other two candidates are literally some of the most unrelatable people ever.
I don't know. I hate the whataboutisms, but like he was just with Aiden Ross, the least relatable, biggest douchebag in history. If we are summarizing an entire campaign based off of who is associating with people, Trump would be in hot water. Like that's not accurate. You can't do that. Like that's not a metric.
The reason why it is relevant to keep bringing him up is because, again, how are you going to come so hard for this side and act like she's doing this, so he's going to win when he's doing the exact same shit, but often worse? So basically he goes on to criticize her for like getting facts wrong, and then how she basically just like talks out of her ass and like always messes up during interviews and acts like she's so stupid.
Does he
and
have
even
a
one of the clips
flashcard with his logo on it? Sorry. What the fuck was that?
Yes. Oh my God.
Can you imagine if we did that? That is so pretentious. I can't. It's like super thick cardstock. What the fuck?
We used to have those cards for questions when we would have celebrity interviews. For
That's
Clever.
insane.
But yeah, it goes on to basically like talk about how like she's so unprepared and like she has these absurd answers, and like he literally describes it at one point as word salad. And again, I can't not acknowledge. I'm like, you want to hear word salad? Really? Are you joking? If you're going to come for her, then you can't be like, she's doing this, so people are automatically going to vote for the other side. I'm like, well, if it was a big enough problem for her, why is it not a big enough problem for him?
There's so many things wrong with what he's doing, but the fact that he is a Canadian is insane. It's just like, why
I saw
are you
someone
here?
bring up, they were like, you might be seeing what you think is like everything and giving you this great insight into the presidential race going on in the US. But guess what? You're not here and you aren't necessarily seeing all of it, and you are witnessing it as a Canadian. I'm not saying you can't be informed, but like it doesn't seem like he is.
And the sheer fact that he could possibly affect someone's actual vote. Like, I'm not saying he did, but like the fact that that could have happened is insane and very upsetting because you don't even go here. Like, what are you doing? You can have an opinion, but we can also tell you to shut up. Like, that is our right as
Exactly.
well.
Back to his whole like celebrities, blah, 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 it's so bad. I would say the majority of people are not basing their vote on whether or not Megan Thee Stallion is performing or like another celebrity endorses it. Celebrity endorsements much more are just getting people to be more aware of politics happening and like bringing more attention to the campaigns, but they're not, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but like it doesn't feel like that's the deciding factor for people when they're deciding who to vote for.
That would be insane if it was.
And that's insulting to act like it is for so many people. Here's like the last minute, his conclusion.
And the reason why I'm showing you this is so you understand the fragility of such a tightly controlled image when she's inevitably put into a high-pressure environment like a debate or an interview where she has to answer questions and she can't articulate herself. This crafted idea that she's an extremely competent person gets shattered immediately. So if Kamala Harris really wants to win this election, she needs to radically and quickly move away from the superficial, hollow rhetoric that she's been engaging in and put together a substantial policy platform and articulate a very clear vision that she has for the country. If she does, I not only think she will win the presidency, but all three branches of government, potentially laying the groundwork for actual transformational change. And if she doesn't, I think she will simply become a cautionary tale of someone who sought the highest office in the land without actually fully grasping the weight of its responsibilities.
The weight?
Her not grasping the weight of the responsibility.
She's the vice president right now.
This whole thing is so misogynistic. She hasn't done the intellectual work. She's not qualified.
First of all, what's insane of that is, again, it is weird. Like, that Trump is her opponent. He wasn't qualified. He didn't know. He had never even been in that office. She works there, bitch. She is literally there right now.
She's literally had like an entire career in politics. Oh my God. I actually did see someone say also that back to the identity politics, like they're only voting for her because she's a black woman. Do you know how many people would just not vote for her because she's a black woman and how they're only voting for Trump because he is a white man who preaches about all of the hateful shit that they agree with? Like, why is
identity
that okay?
politics, yep.
Right? Like, it's just crazy. So that's pretty much it. Needless to say, didn't go well for him.
No, it's now deleted. He must have realized so quick, like, oh, why did I do that?
Well, also, do you notice
get into that shit?
How he tries to, at the end, very much wrap it all in. Like, I just want the best for her.
Yeah, that's why I was saying with the whole downfall series that he usually does, he will offer some advice, but it's never the main sentiment. It's not like a kitchen nightmares of marketing where he's just gonna like build it back up and help you or give you free advice. Like, the majority of it is him tearing you down. That's the structure. And again, if that made sense for his credentials and his presence online, then okay, go off, be a drama channel, be whatever. But that's not what he's claiming to do, and that's what makes it all seem like bullshit. Like, he's claiming to be some sort of marketing expert that is trying to make some invisible downfalls that haven't even happened consumable to like just the average person on TikTok. And it's unnecessary. If I could sum up his content in one word, it's unnecessary.
And I just find the whole thing so weird. Because when he talks about how she needs to be like policy first, blah, blah, you can think that, but also, do you know how many people are not super into politics and that isn't gonna like register with them as being like, oh, now I'm gonna pay attention? She is using successful marketing tactics to reach people that otherwise wouldn't even have the election really on their radar because they're just like not educated with politics or they just like don't really care. And she's able to get them invested by reaching them through stuff like music and memes. And she's shown herself to be very much like someone on her team is very dialed into social media. Whether you think that's superficial or not, fine, but you can't say that it's bad marketing. Like,
well, that's the weirdest take of all, because when you ask yourself, why is he saying this? It doesn't make sense in the scheme of what he even says he's talking about, which is the whole marketing and how that's going to lead to her losing the presidency. It's all so weird. And I just think that there's a difference between someone being able to joke and like get in with Gen Z, which, like you said, may not, unfortunately, be super into the policies and like understanding what's going to actually affect this country. But they still know that they need those votes, much like why Trump showed up at Aiden Ross's house. They still know that they need those votes.
But also, how funny is that? They're like, Aiden Ross's audience? Definitely under 18.
Okay, yeah, that was another weird thing that he did is like just assume that everybody watching her TikToks is under 18. Like, what do you mean by that? Aiden Ross has like verbally said, I have children followers. Like, he knows that. I can't. Anyway, he did apologize. This apology got briefly taken down. I'm almost positive it was like under review or something because it is back up right now. Now, this is another almost 9-minute video. So it's just...
Okay, we'll put it on 1.5 and we'll skip through it a little.
Yeah.
I actually haven't seen this.
Oh, really?
I didn't care.
So I wanted to come on here and address a previous video that I posted, a video that has now been deleted for obvious reasons because it completely missed the mark in every single possible way. And the reason why that video was so poorly received is purely because of me. It was poorly researched, it was poorly articulated, and the reaction is now completely understandable. And there are some specific things that I wanted to correct because I'm not going to just delete the video and move on when it did upset people. And when I'm constantly talking about accountability, I'm going to hold myself accountable as well. So the first thing that I said in that video that I'm so disappointed in myself for saying is I said that Kamala Harris's campaign is mostly centered around identity politics, particularly her identity as being the first woman president. And the reason now why that was such a stupid comment is that it is factually wrong. And after spending the day talking with people who have made videos about my video and watching videos for myself through a different lens, I now see she actually hasn't mentioned that one time. And this is so disappointing for me to know and to
Because it means that you're feeding into the propaganda from the other side.
He literally, yeah, he says that.
realize and admit that I adopted a right-wing talking point to the point that I actually thought it was true and then perpetuated that as if it was a fact when it is irrefutably wrong. Kamala Harris hasn't even mentioned one time the fact that she's a woman, and that is something that has been projected onto her by other people. And I'm so disappointed in myself for saying something that is just literally not true. I think part of it was maybe I was projecting the fears from Hillary Clinton's campaign, where that was the focus, and Kamala Harris is not. It's completely different. And she hasn't made that the focus at all. So I want to apologize to everybody for using my platform
To be a
repeat
misogynist.
something that I can now see was literally just false. And the reason why I'm so specifically disappointed in myself for that comment is that I've never thought of myself in my entire life as somebody that has a sexist bone in my body. I have 4 sisters. Every single adult friendship that I have is with women. So it's not been something that I've mentally taken inventory of before. So now to realize actually that I clearly had a bias, because that is the only way that a factually incorrect statement like that could have been adopted in my mind as reality, shows that I do have biases and things that I need to work on. And I absolutely will be taking time outside of this video to realize why that happened and make sure that it never happens again. So the other specific thing that I said that I do want to hold myself accountable for is I said something to the effect of, if Kamala Harris hasn't done the intellectual work on picking a specific policy, she could be in a scenario like a debate where she's backed into a corner and doesn't know what to say. The choice to use the words hasn't done the intellectual work, while although I had no malicious intention behind it, I can see was a completely idiotic statement to make, and I need to be much more careful when I choose my words. I took a very narrow-minded view of her campaign and saw that there were no policies listed on her website, when in reality, she has spoken about many policies. And when she does, they are reported on by so many news outlets, it probably isn't necessary to have them on the website anyway, and I'm sure at a certain point she will. And to imply, which was not my intention at all, but to even imply that she's not working hard is ridiculous. And I fully recognize she's probably currently working harder than anybody else on the planet, and there's an immense amount of pressure on her, and she's in a very unique situation where she's only been doing this for a month, and I fully regret my choice of words when speaking about that topic. And the other reason why my video rightfully angered and upset so many people is because the factual reality of our society is that women are held to higher standards than men, period. And people of color are held to higher standards than white people, and women of color are arguably held to the highest standards of all. And that's true in families, in relationships, in school, in work, and in politics. At every single level, it's true. And if you need any proof of that, we can literally compare Obama's presidency to Trump's presidency.
We don't need proof
Had
of
Obama
that.
lost an election, denied that he lost the election, and then encouraged his supporters to invade the Capitol, to override the democratic process, and take over the government violently. Does anyone actually deny the fact that he would have been eviscerated viciously by Fox News and by Republicans? He would have never lived that down. He would have never gotten away with that. And he was criticizing his presidency for the color suits that he wore because they were grasping at straws. There was nothing else they could criticize him for. And then we have Donald Trump, someone running, who actually did that and who got away with it. Can you imagine if a woman did that? How crazy the media would have made her out to be? But
Yes.
somehow he still retains his image as being a
Just
strong,
like,
competent,
yeah,
intelligent
welcome.
leader, which he's not. He's a crazy person. And I'm so sorry that my video could have come across in any way that I would ever support him in any way, shape, or form.
Is he kidding? Is he saying right now that, like, well, I never would support Donald Trump? What the fuck was that video then? Like, that was definition of tell me you're a Trump supporter without telling me you're a Trump supporter.
It just lacks clear motive. It's not consistent with the rest of his content, even though he tried to make it be. I mean, you're Canadian and you're not a politics channel, so this is weird and out of left field regardless. But then even more so that you were like so hard on her for a reason that you seem to be passionate about, but all of a sudden you're just like, I actually had no idea what I was talking about. I have to say, I do respect his apology. I do think, and people obviously, the comments, he got ratioed. People, you know, they're not going to accept this. We know this about the internet. I do think that he's saying all the right things.
For sure. But you just have to ask why is, like, what's his motivation now? Because literally, to
save
act
his
like
ass.
it is appalling to think that he was even indirectly supporting Trump, when literally, as we said earlier, there's pretty much only 2 options. So if you're going to sit here and try and spread misinformation that she's like super unqualified and that she can't handle this and all this stuff, what do you think the outcome of that is going to be?
No,
like,
I know. I think that the only other viable explanation is like he saw that she was a hot topic because of everything going on and thought like, oh, I could make a downfall of her. Like I have lots of critiques here, and just kept it very superficial, which again, you can't present yourself as like this super well-researched person and then do that. Like I don't know.
And then come back and be like, so
Actually,
factually that was incorrect. There's not one instance of her saying that. I'm like, but that was one of your leading points. Like,
and he went on and on and on, and he was super confident. And that video was like a day or two before this video. So that's insane, obviously. But again, he is saying the right things. So I understand there is the sentiment on the internet of like, can someone be pointed in the right direction and then say that they understand, and then people just
You'd
understand?
hope
Like,
so. I don't really believe someone that was as confident and like decisive in his criticisms for her,
yeah,
that none of that occurred to him, and also that he didn't feel the need to research any of it, but he definitely would have heard a lot of that from only people on the opposing side.
I don't know. The way I look at it is like he was dead fucking wrong, but it's like, what does he do now? He's just got to stop.
Oh, I don't know. But it's like, this obviously isn't the same as like racism stuff, but when it's like a few days later, it's like, I realize everything was wrong and I totally understand. It's like, well, do you? Because I think you have a lot to unpack if you thought all that was right the first time around.
That I agree with. Yeah, this was way too close together. This is probably full of shit, his apology. I guess for me, I was just like, God, the comments went hard. Like there's almost 20,000 comments on this video.
I think maybe
nice
he
ones.
possibly realized that the majority of his audience was going to be not okay with this. Like he must have thought he had more of a split and that it was going to be like kind of a conversation starter rather than just like, oh no, they're coming to end you. And also it's at a point that like everything is so contentious and like each side is so passionate that it's like wrong time to piss off people with things that are not just opinions, but like factually untrue statements.
Yeah, I mean, you're Canadian. Literally, you could have just stayed out of this. So weird.
But he thinks everyone can add their 2 cents.
And I want to preface this by saying I in no way am excusing the stupidity that was my decision to post that video specifically at this moment in time. And my original intention behind the video does not matter as long as the outcome was negative, which it was. But I just want to provide a little bit of context as to what my mindset was at the time, so you can hopefully understand why I was initially so defensive and confused by the backlash. I'm a marketing consultant, not a political consultant, clearly, but we are specifically trained to be brutally honest, even at the expense of possibly offending the client, because to not do so is considered a disservice to them. So before I filmed that video, I did some shallow research that should have been so much more thorough. But I looked at the polling of the swing states, and I noticed that Kamala Harris and Donald Trump are in statistical ties within the margin of error of every single swing state. And when I combine that with my understanding that pollsters have historically underrepresented Trump voters in the past, and also the fact that the Electoral College structurally favors Republicans, I was actually worried. And in my own stupid, twisted mind, and I understand it was dumb and it came across as dumb as it was, but I thought I was sounding the alarm and possibly bringing up a topic that could help improve her campaign.
Oh, did you think Kamala was going to be watching and they were going to be like, you know what? Be Better told us to no more celebrities here.
You know what? This actually gives a lot of clarity to me in terms of his content and what he thinks he's doing. I think that he could benefit from everyone giving their feedback of like, hey, do this different. Don't just focus on people's fucking downfall. Like, it's kind of depressing. And either, again, go be a drama channel, just go and kiki on the internet, or be a marketing expert, marketing consultant, tell us what people are doing right and wrong and everything in between and advice to people. Like, I think that he's just narrowed his content way too much, and like, this makes sense to me as to why he's doing that.
And I just think he maybe needs to take a moment to self-reflect and realize that he is a self-proclaimed marketing expert. He's not necessarily qualified to be saying all of this, but he very much presents himself as a voice of authority on it. And that's why people are mad, because he even just said shallow research. It doesn't seem like he did much research at all. Like,
right. Like, what's shallow?
I don't know.
That's concerningly vague.
What's shallow? Going on Twitter? Because like Elon Musk is posting some wild shit lately, so.
Which is adopting some stronger, more progressive policy positions, like Bernie Sanders. And that's ultimately the reason why I didn't post a video on Donald Trump, because I don't want to help further his campaign in any way. That is also just not the side of the internet that I'm on. I'm on Kamala Harris.
But this was furthering hers? Like, what do you mean?
Again, I think it's his skewed perception of his own content and what he believes he's doing on the internet. If this is
his
genuine.
Self-importance, that he thinks he's that influential that he's going to be like,
yeah.
I don't think people are mad at him because they think that he's really changing people's minds. It was just like, what is this? Like, go away.
Yeah, it was unclear what his motive was. So basically, that's his apology. He does own up to it, whether you believe he's genuine or not. I'll leave that up to you. I don't know. I guess I'm just not super passionate about his content. To say
No,
either
and that's,
way.
I think for me, it's just more like, I think he definitely echoed a lot of the reasons people were mad, because there was a lot of people that very eloquently and intelligently responded to him and showed him why he was wrong. And I think he took what they were saying, realized that his whole audience was like coming for his neck.
And that he didn't know what he was talking about.
Yeah.
Like, just flat out, even if you don't agree with Kamala Harris's policies, she has them.
Yeah.
Like, she has proposed policies.
Like, it's
you
not just
can't
joy.
say that because it's false. But anyway, there's one more thing that I will show you. Is it a little bit conspiratorial? I don't know. I'll leave that up to you. I think it's credible. Becca actually posted this on TikTok because she had reposted it. And then she said that she fact checked all of this and it checked out. And I trust Becca's researching, okay?
Oh, you know what? I believe Angelica told me about this too, because she also was pulling up his brand deal with Jake Paul, which Jake Paul is very vocally endorsing Donald Trump.
So you may know Jake Paul as a disgraced ex-Disney Channel star, or the guy who's actually dumb enough to get in the ring with Mike Tyson. But what I'm most interested in is the fact that he just launched a brand, and you guys, there are so many problems with it. I can't even begin.
Yo, what are you doing?
Reading.
How'd you get in my house?
Just in general, there have been a lot of people that have come forward with like emails to prove / suggest, I don't know if they're verified, that both campaigns had been like paying people to give them positive endorsements and stuff. So
as it turns out, the Be Better company was almost certainly funded by money that came from the Trump administration itself. You cannot make this stuff up. Hi, my name is Brenna and I have a master's in pattern recognition. So trust me when I say I saw this coming from a mile away. I've not been cheering this on because I actually enjoy a lot of his videos and I think he said a lot of good things in some of them. But I'd be lying if I said I was not fully expecting him to one day soon bitch too close to the sun. In case you missed it, this guy's made a name for himself doing these takedowns of brands and influencers, usually looking at their marketing, sometimes their product, mainly reveling in what he predicts will be their downfall. And this week, he did one about Kamala's campaign, which landed him in some hot water. He kind of lauds his expertise by saying that he's the youngest person in Canada to ever receive an MBA, which, like, congratulations, dude. That's just because most MBAs require you to have at least 5 years of experience in business before they let you get them. So that doesn't make you a prodigy. That just means someone pulled some strings for you. And I have a sneaking suspicion I know
makes sense
who
if he's
did.
Nepo.
See, as it turns out, months ago, this creator, who apparently has a series of finding influencers on LinkedIn, found Be Better and identified him. And they discovered that Be Better actually currently holds a marketing position at Airboss of America. Despite the fact that Be Better has scrubbed their LinkedIn and just about everything they can from the internet in the last couple of days, I have pretty much been able to verify this. Let me just say that. And as it turns out, the president and co-CEO of Airboss of America happens to be Chris Bitsakakis, who you will notice shares a last name with Be Better, probably his dad. Number one, having an MBA doesn't necessarily make you an expert in marketing. One thing that's always bothered me is that I don't believe he's ever specified in any of these videos that his MBA is in marketing. I may be wrong about that, but that's something that's like always stood out to me. Number two, not only is he lacking the basic years of experience that most MBAs actually have, he's also a Nepo baby. So I don't know what experience he has that makes him an expert. Now that's okay. He can still have very, very good things to say and make very interesting videos that have good points. And I think he does. However, that whole thing with the MBA that is done on purpose to make you think like he's some sort of prodigy is something that he's frankly not. Number three, if someone's such an expert in marketing, I don't know why you're using your work account to take down other brands and just stir up a bunch of controversy and drama. Number four, if he's an expert in marketing, that doesn't make him an expert in political campaigns. It doesn't. They're different. They are different.
Yeah, they're like
so it is
a product,
incredibly
though.
interesting that, as others have pointed out, not only did he make several incorrect but also insulting assertions about Kamala, but he was also basically just furthering several right-wing talking points that had no actual basis in reality, when this isn't even his area of supposed expertise. Now, I have no problem with Canadians weighing in on American politics because, as he said in his video, American politics affect people all over the world. Yes, I'm so glad you said that, Be Better, because as it turns out, American politics very much affect you and your family. Don't they? As it turns out that Airboss of America, your dad's company, which you also work at, didn't even have to bid in order to receive millions of dollars from the Trump administration. In fact, the Airboss transaction was the single largest no-bid purchase. Wow. In fact, this transaction has been the subject of much curiosity and investigation in the years since because it was so unusual. Funny how this deal went through without meeting any of the usual requirements, much like you got your MBA without meeting any of the usual requirements.
I love her.
I guess it makes sense now why you would take down Kamala on your business account, since that windfall probably let your family do a lot of things, including funding your business.
I will say, yes, very conspiratorial, but very valid points to bring up, which he might not want to address probably.
Well, that's the thing. It's not entirely conspiratorial, though, because he is on the marketing team at Airbus. That is confirmed. I'm almost positive.
But does he do anything? Or is he just
I don't know
does
if
he have the
anything,
title
but he
or
definitely
does he actually do the job?
Regardless, he gets paid for it, I'm sure. So it's like if his dad or somebody sharing his last name, he definitely has someone very high up.
He has financial interests in
the benefits of that company. Yeah. I would say that's pretty positive. Yeah. If that's the case, and then during the Trump administration, they did get all this money, I'm not saying that he has no morals and that he would do this just because of that. I'm saying that if we're just, alleging here, that would make a lot more sense why he did that video, because otherwise it makes zero sense.
Well, it doesn't. His explanation of saying he was hoping that they would change their campaign based on your video, sir, calm down, take several seats. This does make more sense because this is a real motive rather than I just wanted her to be better by calling her incompetent and unintelligent.
Yeah. But after she posted that video, I think she said that he DM'd her and said that he's getting doxxed alongside his family and that it's a disaster. And so she was telling people don't do that. I'm literally just here to fact check things and just, report whatever. People were also pissed off because allegedly he was liking a bunch of comments that were agreeing with his opinion. And he left comments on TikToks that were kind of reinforcing his opinion on everything prior to his apology. And I think people are just confused at overall what his motive actually is. What do you stand for? Who are you? Why are you here? Are you an industry plant? We don't even know at this point. It's just very weird why he even makes the videos he does. What does he get out of it? I don't know.
Well, so that's what I didn't expect that conspiracy theory to be, that theory, because I've heard that people are accusing them of doing brand deal, undisclosed brand deals for the Trump campaign where they're coming for Kamala Harris.
Okay, no, that sounds really conspiratorial because that would be insane.
Well, I mean, it's the same as people saying that they hire people to go to rallies.
No, I don't doubt that they would do it. I just think that him being the person they would choose to do it and him agreeing to it.
Well, I mean, it does then just you said, why does he make any of the videos he does? For money. I'm not saying even that that's what camp I'm in. I think that that's kind of crazy because if you are found out to be doing an undisclosed ad for that former president / presidential candidate, that's pretty insane. But that I know is another narrative being pushed. And also that people have said that Kamala's campaign have paid people to do stuff too. But I don't know. I don't think anyone can prove any of that. So
anyway, I don't know where I stand. Sorry, my head hurts and I can't really draw a conclusion. This was just a weird ride.
I just don't believe if he doesn't seem like a dumb guy, and if he's the youngest MBA, blah, blah, I don't feel like he would be able to overlook glaringly obvious problems with how he was presenting that. And be oh my God, I didn't even realize how bad that sounded. When your entire thing, your entire career has been built about doing this exact same thing, I feel like you're pretty strategic.
Well, it bears the question, was he ever good at what he did? Like I said, the whole lip balm thing, allegedly he got, my cat's tail is hitting the microphone. Allegedly he got a lot of that wrong. So it's are you good at what you do? I mean, you could get things wrong. Believe me, I know. But I don't know. Just seems weird.
Yeah, well, and I do also then wonder, like you said, if he's liking comments that were agreeing with his original points and stuff. But then again, a couple days later, suddenly it's a 180.
Right. It could very well be
it sounds
bullshit.
like damage control to me more than
an
epiphany that he was wrong.
Right. Yeah, no, could be. Anyway, do you want to switch to We Love the Internet so you can go heal from your root canal?
Yeah. I'm I got HEDA. I forgot. I think it's a little swollen.
Oh no, is it?
It hurt because even last time people were like, Lily, how are you filming right after your root canal? And I was like, honestly, it was not bad. Well, your front teeth have less of a root to canal than your very back molar that they literally had to fucking Like, I could tell what they were doing.
So I sent Lily my We Love the Internet. It's possibly one of my favorite things to come out of the show in a hot minute. And it is our good friend that we canceled in our last episode. No, 2 episodes ago. Lexorcist on TikTok. What a slay queen. I love her so much. But if you don't know, we canceled her because she basically called us out and said that we were making the Alex Earl thing about us and like her. It was a whole thing. You had to have been there. But then she made this and it was very surprising.
Well, and so I found this because people started commenting on the episode about it and they're like, oh my God, she deleted the video. And then I see another comment like, she responded. I'm like, oh no. And I like literally am panicking.
Wait,
all
she
over
deleted
again.
the original video?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like she deleted that immediately and then she put this up and I was like, oh my God, what is she gonna say? I'm like, she's nervous for getting canceled. We're nervous every time someone mentions her name.
Literally.
The caption on screen, it says, let's review me getting canceled. And she's holding a laptop and I'm like, oh no.
Oh, here we go.
But it ended up being positive. I loved it.
Hey guys, today we're gonna react to me getting canceled.
They are. I do think that is...
So, I'm gonna guess what happened is that I 100% was misinformed and there's probably gonna be an apology somewhere
queen.
in
I get
this
it. Don't
email.
worry.
Jesse texted to me and goes, this girl thinks we're trying to make Alex's N-word thing about us. It's like, I said, is it a coincidence that she looks just like Sophia LaCourte? So they think I'm pretty! She's mid-power walk, it seems.
You got it right.
So it seems like they tried to capitalize.
Well, she kind of tried to lump us in with that too.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
You're gonna call out...
Cancel the company.
It's me, Mom, I made it!
This happens.
What the hell is wrong with you?
I'm sorry.
Wait, our faces when she says that, because that was the first time we had seen that part, we were like,
Yeah, we were like, what the fuck?
That's really bitchy. That's really bitchy. I'm sorry. I'm so...
Narrative, ma'am. No, and to be fair, she's probably not somebody that watches the show. I'll give her that, for sure.
I might now, though. I'm loving this.
She's a girly, for sure. She's gonna buy her merch. What I gather
I'm gonna buy the merch.
here is that she doesn't understand.
I don't.
Talking
10 out of 10 review. I really enjoyed that experience. I'm definitely misinformed about the situation. I'm really glad you guys cleared it up. Usually I would defend my identity to the end, but today you're right. I'm misinformed, and sometimes it's okay to admit that. And I have fun.
That's okay
I'm gonna
too.
keep listening to the podcast.
I love her. I want to be her friend.
wait, no, but we have to look at the comments too.
Oh, yeah. Me, you, and Chelsea commented on it.
Yeah, no, after I had finished watching, I was like, straight to the comments. I had said, okay, this is kind of iconic. And then Jessie said, okay, this is everything. And she responded to both of them. To mine, she said, I'll be the first person to buy your merch.
Thank
And
you,
then,
queen. We appreciate you.
To Jessie, she said, officially a certified girly.
Dude, like, she's so funny. This could have gone so differently.
Oh, no, literally, I was totally, when I saw that she responded, I was expecting it to be like, she was like gonna rip us apart more. But yeah, someone said, I'm watching it right now and came over to see if you would respond. And she said, yeah, bad news. I had no clue what was going on, apparently. Good news, these podcasters are the coolest girls I've ever seen on the internet.
That's very sweet. We're not, but
I know,
thank
I was
you.
like, oh, that, overcompensating. You don't have to lie.
But yeah, that was such a fun full circle moment. She could have gotten on there and been like, wow, you guys have a podcast with these followers and like, I'm not even, like, I'm a nobody on the
That
internet.
is
Like,
what I
why
was-
did you have to blast me?
Literally,
That's what I thought she was gonna do.
100% what I was expecting. It was like, how dare you sick your followers on me, blah, blah. And it's like, oh my
Yeah.
God, we're sorry. We didn't mean to.
But honestly, she took it so well. And now I want to be friends with her.
Yeah,
Anyway.
same. We love it.
Bad news, girlies. Lily's We Love the Internet somehow got flagged for copyright, and we had to delete it. She sends her apologies, both for the lack of video and also for getting deathly ill, which resulted in this episode being late and having to skip one altogether. She is writing this right now, though, so hopefully that means she'll be able to film tomorrow, and everything will be back to normal by Friday. Cough, cough.
Anyway,
Well,
that brings us to
we're
a
going to go
close.
heal now. Me from my headache, Lily from her root canal. We're going to call it a friggin' day. Jasmine's been here again, paying a visit. Anyway, if you guys made it to the end, we appreciate you very much. And as always, we hope you have a wonderful weekend, and we will see you on Monday. Bye.
Yes.